It's not every day you get dressed up as a zombie and then have to walk home while kids are going to school. So, yeah, you make the most of it.
Welcome to Close Enough Podcast. I'm Mike.
And this is Jay.
Right. You just feel like fucking it up right now?
I'm just fucking with you, man.
Okay. That's not hard to do. I need my other beer.
Didn't I bring you a beer?
Yeah, it's already gone.
Then get up and get another one.
I don't want to get up and get another one. We're recording.
You didn't bring more than one beer?
It's in the fridge.
Don't you have a drink?
Yeah.
We'll do that then.
Alright,
Drink
fine.
that.
So yeah, my drink. Did you see this weird looking thing I got here? It's actually called a Bloody Brain Shooter. Ingredients you're looking at: 2 ounces of strawberry vodka, 1/8 of an ounce of lime juice, 1 ounce of Bailey's, and a splash of grenadine. The idea here is mix the lime juice and the vodka, just enough to get it all mixed together, and then take the Bailey's and use a straw and you drip it in so it curdles on the top and it kind of looks like a brain. See that like weird thing
That doesn't. I was with you right up until Bailey's.
Yeah, and then you splash just a little bit of grenadine on it so it looks like blood's running down the brain. It's a cool looking drink.
I suppose, but it's not the kind of thing I'd want to put in my mouth.
I don't know about the curdle Bailey's part, but either way, strawberry vodka's strawberry vodka.
Well, down the hatch with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna switch back to beer. So, Jay, what are you thinking?
Well, truthfully, it's been a pretty slow week for me. I've been working a lot. I haven't been paying much attention to something. Did catch something a bit today. Apparently the Oscars were this weekend.
Yeah, I actually got really kind of drunk and watched most of it.
I'm pretty sure that's the only way you can do it. I missed it. And I say I missed it on account of, as though I was looking for it. But it was Neil Patrick Harris, the man who can host anything.
He did a great job, in my opinion, yeah.
Well, apparently you're alone in that fact. Everybody thinks he fucked up. Everybody's mad at him.
For what?
Apparently somebody came on, and, full disclosure, I didn't see it. I'm reading reports a bit after the fact. But some woman came out in a dress covered with, fluffy balls all over it.
Yeah, I remember that.
And she I don't know, she made a speech about suicide or bullying or some other,
it had to do
social
with
justice hot button topic.
I think it had to do with her son or her friend's son. I can't remember specifically, but committed suicide due to that. Yes.
Okay.
I remember that.
So, she made a speech about something that was important to her. And then they played her off and she went away, and NPH comes rolling back out and makes a joke about the dress, which apparently it takes a lot of balls to wear a dress like that.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I remember that. I was laughing my ass off.
Which is a double entendre, because, yes, it requires a lot of gumption to wear something ridiculous like that, but also the dress was covered in balls.
Oh, God, so he's getting shit for this.
Yes, he's getting shit from it. You shouldn't be making off-color fashion jokes. She was talking about something serious.
Well, all right.
Then she's done talking about something serious. Are we just supposed to cry for the rest of the night because somebody brought up a serious topic?
That you can't do that. Every time somebody goes up and has a speech, they're trying to be heartfelt or, oh, thank you, so and so. No, you got to lighten the mood. You got to lighten the night. And first of all, he didn't write that joke, from what I've heard. That wasn't his joke.
I seriously doubt that he just goes out there and wings it. Yeah.
Somebody handed him that joke and told him to use this when he went back on stage, and so you can't blame him for that. That's what he's doing, what he's told and paid to do by hosting the Oscars. But there was so many other just bizarre things. You want to talk about fashion? Oh my God, some of those dresses. There was some bitch had a dress that was made out of something like 6,000 pearls or some shit. I'm like, how the fuck did she sit down in this thing?
That's a great dress. Is that Cool Whip? Mm-hmm.
These things were just ridiculous. Some of it, was just normal, nice evening gowns. Girls look nice, and then sometimes somebody would come out, and you're just like, what the fuck are you wearing? It was ridiculous. But yeah, I remember this part. I remember seeing the dress, and I thought it was kind of funny. I didn't take it to heart that he was doing anything malicious. I mean,
he was making a stupid little pun.
Yeah.
As I grow older, I'm really starting to appreciate the dad jokes and puns. When I was younger, puns are so terrible. They're the best jokes ever.
Yeah. I'm doing the same thing. I come up with the cheesy one-liners and the puns a lot, and that's...
What's the difference between oral sex and anal sex?
What?
Oral sex makes your day, and anal sex makes your whole week.
Oh, that's actually pretty good. I hadn't heard that one.
Isn't that the best?
I like it.
But
Well, I mean, okay, not for nothing. Even just last week's podcast, I kind of went on a slight depressing rant about, some kids I grew up with, but you're still able to get out of that, get lighthearted, get past it. You have to do that with life in general.
something sad happened once, so let's all sit around and pout for the rest of the day.
Did you ever see the Robin Williams movie, World's Greatest Dad?
World's Greatest? No, I have not.
It's, it kind of reminds me of this situation. I don't want to ruin the movie for you, but it's a dark comedy. Mm-hmm. He comes in and finds his son dead because he was masturbating while choking himself.
Is this the one where, like, he had a story or something he was writing, so he finished the story, or he penned, like, the world's best suicide note or something?
Yeah, he wrote the kid's suicide note, and then he, decided, oh, well, I found my son's journal. So he wrote his son's journal as an English professor. Mm-hmm. And everybody's like, oh, he's the greatest kid ever. Well, when they did show him he was alive, he was a fucking douchebag. This kid was a little piece of shit.
Yeah.
But it's, a dad finds his son dead. That's a rough situation, but you're still able to make a whole movie kind of turning the situation around. And to me, I mean, this one small instance was a little, I don't even know, man. It's ridiculous that they're getting on him about that. If anything, they should be giving more shit to John Travolta for being so creepy with Adele Mazine or whatever her name is.
Yeah, I heard about that. I have no idea what happened. It was like, John Travolta was creepy, and I just kind of passed it off as, yeah.
Well, I guess it was a different award show, and he was introducing her, and he said her name wrong. I don't remember how he said her name, but he said it wrong. And she came up, and there was this whole, them meeting on stage thing, and they kind of made a joke about it. But he started touching her face, and I mean, it was kind of creepy, man.
Maybe he was getting ready for Face Off, the sequel.
Yeah, well, not too bad.
There's a joke in there.
Yeah,
you guys figure it out yourself. Send it in. We'll read it on next week's podcast.
No Nicolas Cage though.
Now, everybody hates Nicolas Cage, but he's been in some fucking good movies.
He's been in some great movies.
I thought he was good when he was the bad guy in Face Off.
I agree, actually. I thought
he was pretty damn good. I think they should have done it the other way around, where Travolta should have started as the bad guy and
went to the good. I agree with you completely. That's exactly how I saw the movie, because him playing the bad guy was one of the best characters. Man,
he was
damn
great.
Good.
I mean, he's been good in things. What's
that one? Once Bitten.
I was going to mention the one where he. Is it Once Bitten?
I think, isn't that what it's called?
I don't know, but it's wonderful. I was going to mention that one.
The vampire one he was in. Yeah, I thought
he's been in good things, but he's also fucking Ghost Rider.
Yeah, I don't know if you're a fan, but his of the movie itself, Kick-Ass, his awkward portrayal of the character that he plays for Big Daddy was really good.
Trapped in Paradise.
Oh yeah.
Trapped in Paradise was good. Do I have that, or did I loan that to you?
I
think I loaned it.
I think you did loan it to me. I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, you need to watch that. It's so good.
It's sitting right in front.
I mean, it's John Travolta and Dana Carvey. Wow, no, wrong. John Lovitz and Dana Carvey, and Nicolas Cage as as bank robbers in this shitty little town.
I'll have to.
That's good.
Sit down and actually watch it. Yeah,
because it doesn't take itself seriously. It's not outwardly a comedy, but it's funny.
But well, that was the other thing with the Oscars too. I'm pretty sure this is my first time watching it. At least I can say that I have recollection of watching it, and I haven't seen all the movies, but I've heard a lot about most of them, and a couple of the movies seen here and there. And there were just some awards. I was kind of like, wow, out of the lineup of what they would give you, I was kind of like, really, that's what won? And then I haven't seen it yet, but you've heard of Birdman. Mm-hmm. It got nominated for almost everything, and it won 2 awards the whole night.
Well, I'm really happy for Birdman, and I'm going to let you finish, but I just think Beyonce should have won that award.
Yeah, there was a Kanye West joke in there.
I'm sure there was a Kanye West joke.
Yeah. Had to bring it up. No, it got nominated for most of the categories, and it did not win most of the categories. If I remember correctly, it only won 2. Maybe 3, but I think it was only 2. Grand Budapest Hotel won most of the categories. I have not seen it.
I've never heard of it.
It looks okay. It looks interesting as far as clips or previews I've seen of it. And then I found out that it's the same guy that did The Great Tenenbaums. A horrible movie. I
I
couldn't
don't know
even
anything
watch
about
it.
it.
And then what's that fucking Bill Murray movie? He's on the submarine and it's one of the slowest, longest movies I've ever... Oh my god, it was horrible. What the hell is the name of that damn movie?
Bill Murray.
Life Aquatic. Oh my god, dude. It was... I never even finished it. So now I'm like in the air whether I want to see this Grand Budapest Hotel or not. I don't know. But
See, movies like that, I save them for Netflix, and it's just like, I've got nothing else going on. I'll watch it.
yeah. But I mean, my whole point of bringing everything up basically is there was a lot worse things that happened if you watched it. Some of the jokes were bad, some of them were good. There's different people, their speeches, and that one thing is one of the biggest things I've been seeing everywhere. And you're right, I heard about it driving to work today. They were talking about it on the radio. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, it wasn't that big a deal.
There's a lot of people out there who are just waiting for any opportunity to be offended. I really think that's how this world works. It's just like, oh, let me be offended real quick. I want to be offended. I mean, I get offended by a bunch of shit, but I've actually got a $5 bounty out on anybody that can tell me a joke that actually offends me.
I have a similar bounty out. My difference is I buy you a drink. Same idea.
Somebody told me a joke once, and I mean, I've told it so many times now. I'm just absolutely, it doesn't offend me anymore. When I first heard it, I had this weird feeling. I didn't know what it was, and it was like, I'm offended by humor. That's a thing that shouldn't be joked about.
Yeah, it doesn't get me at all anymore. Like
it was a Tibetan immolation joke, and I was just like, why would you joke about that? And then just the fact that I was offended made me so happy that so that's the Wilson Award, named after the guy who told me the joke.
Yeah.
$5 cash prize.
Still hasn't happened to me yet. Anytime somebody actually tries, they come up with they try to do like your mom said this, or I slept with your mom last night, or your blah blah. I'm like, no, dude. I mean, actually, give me a fucking joke. Say something that's... I mean, you can make those jokes anyways. I'm not going to get offended. I don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
But really give me something that's going to offend me, man. Don't just come up with this stupid, oh, I fucked your mom last night. I'm like, yeah, well, you and everybody else in the world if you want to keep joking. I mean, Jesus.
Some people, have tried. Some people don't. One guy was just like, well, what offends you? I mean, okay, nice try, but let's put some effort into this.
Yeah, that didn't work for me from what I remember. Nobody's ever been able to give me one either.
I ask new people at work this, and they always come in, and I'm like, oh, Wilson Award, $5 cash payout to any joke that can offend me, and they go and they try to come up with their most offensive joke, and you learn a lot about somebody when you ask them for the most offensive joke they know. You learn what offends them.
Good point.
And then you can use that later to offend them.
Yeah. I mean,
but wrapping it up, I just think that there's too many people out there who are too quick to who are quick to come to offense and are just really looking for any opportunity to steal any bit of spotlight they can, like our terrible shirt on the scientist from months past, who will take any bit of spotlight they can to try and shine light on their pet cause, however worthy or unworthy it may be. And I think that the world really needs to just fucking lighten up a bit.
Oh, I totally agree. This week's Close Enough podcast is brought to you by Clockwork Garage. Clocks, keychains, and more made from recycled auto parts. Visit clockworkgarage.com.
Yeah, we should take a look at one of those clocks and find out what time it is.
It's much later than I was hoping.
Is that a terrible delivery of my standard joke?
No.
It's movie review time.
Movie review time. I've done that before. All right, give me another one. In a world where movies...
Not in a world. Not in a world.
In an apartment where movies get reviewed.
Last week, we reviewed In the Name of the King.
What?
Would you watch the wrong movie?
I definitely am not watching In the Name of the King.
Yeah. All right. In the Name of the King. Worst movie I've ever seen. Moving on. No, you chose the movie last week. We threw away the trash can into a larger trash can.
Yeah.
And you just picked... what movie did you pick?
You're Next.
You're Next. It's a slasher film, a home invasion slasher film. As a family reunion for their parents' 30-year anniversary, a young woman and her boyfriend had to fight off a gang of bloodthirsty animal mass killers that were coming in and just fucking everything up. Mike, this was your pick for the week, so
Yep.
why don't you go ahead and get us started off here?
Well, real quick sidetrack. I had to say, just because it's already been mentioned twice now. In The Name of the King, great cast. Horrible movie.
It was a fantastic cast.
Oh my god, man. Everything from Matthew Lillard, Ray Liotta. I mean, so many great people. It just... Can you hit...
They were great people, but it's like, why would you cast these people? Burt Reynolds was the king.
Jason Statham was in it, I think?
Statham was in it. Ron Perlman.
Yeah. Not trying to review that movie, but it was just because we keep talking about how horrible it is.
It's
If
the
you
shittiest
haven't
movie
seen it,
I've ever seen.
I don't know. Can we say it's worth seeing just because of the
No.
people, or is it
No.
really? Yeah, it is that bad.
A friend of mine got a pirated copy of it, and he watched it. He's like, it's the shittiest movie ever. And I had nothing better to do, so I was like, well, fuck it, I'll watch it. It can't be that bad.
It's worse
yes,
than
it
Side
can.
Effects. For those of you who have no idea what the hell we're laughing at, if you've never seen a movie called Side FX, you need to watch this fucking movie.
That movie's so shitty, I bought it twice.
And then it's actually worth watching the credits for a couple of minutes because it's the same fucking guy doing everything in the whole fucking movie.
Story by Patrick Johnson. Director Patrick Johnson. Executive producer Patrick Johnson. Assistant producer also Patrick Johnson.
Four
Caterer,
characters
Patrick
played by
Johnson.
Patrick Johnson.
He has 2 separate cameos
Was it
in the
2?
film.
Yeah.
2 different characters.
I remembered he was in the movie more than once. Oh, anyways, all right. Sorry,
Yeah.
back to You're Next.
You're next. All right. Yeah, let's do the thing we're here to do.
Yeah, I like this movie, but then again, I'm a big fan of almost anything horror. I like slasher flicks, you know. Personally, I love like that kind of weird offset back roads, Hills Have Eyes, Wrong Turn, any of that kind of weird, you know, stuff like that. I love those slasher things too, but you know, classics, everything. It's just I love it. So I automatically go into this movie thinking I'm going to enjoy it and expecting to enjoy it, which I did. Yeah, a lot of typical horror movie faux pas, but I don't know. I can't say too much of anything bad about it. There was definitely a few scenes that were over exaggerated, but you're going to have that in any...
Isn't that the genre, though?
A lot of times. I mean, it depends on how serious you're trying to make it. If you're really trying to go with like, oh, this is how Ed Gein did his whole life, that you're going to try to keep it to as much realism as you can. But something like this, yeah, of course. I mean, one of my favorite scenes, which is still just cheesy, when she runs out the door right into the wire. I don't know what it is. I love that simplistic thing there. Now, granted, whether or not it would have done that much damage, it would have had to hit right at the right spot. Perfectly.
At that speed, it probably would have bruised her. Now, wire decapitations are or were a popular thing. In Vietnam, they used to run wires across the road at neck height because soldiers would flip the windshields down on the Jeep, and so they would run wires across the road and take out a whole squad in one go. You know, but you're talking 40, 50 miles an hour.
Yeah.
But I'm watching that scene. We're going into that scene, and she starts running, and they're getting ready to open the door, and I'm looking at it. They've got the spoiler warning, I guess. It's a little late, but you should have watched the fucking movie. We told you about it. You had a week. Anyway, shouldn't be a surprise to you guys. There's somebody outside.
Mm-hmm.
They're shooting into the place.
And
Then
then
they crack the door open first.
And there's like a few minutes of silence. A few people injured. They move into the other room.
I mean, even as they're she's like, all right, I'm going to get a running start and open the door at the last minute. But they've got the door cracked open already. Lights on inside. It's dark outside. I really expected there to be a guy right outside the door with an axe or a freaking crossbow. And they whip the door open and thunk. There you go.
See, they failed to appeal to your predictability there. They switched it up a little bit for you. All right, I can tell by your face and the way you're already talking about it, and we haven't even really gotten into the movie, you didn't like it.
I was not impressed. I didn't see anything about this film that stood out from the giant field of home invasion slasher flicks.
I think it did a little bit of a different take on it. We'll get to the ending later. But I did have a specific question I wanted to ask you. I know this isn't your type of movie, but I was hoping, especially as far as slasher flicks goes, that you would at least be able to enjoy some of it, or at least think higher of it than you do most slasher flicks. But my main question I wanted to ask you, if this was in Scandinavian, would you have liked it better?
Probably not, no.
Why do you say that?
I mean, are you just saying if the film was just in another language, or?
Well, I mean, I know, okay, we did Troll Hunter and we did Dead Snow, and you liked both of those, and they're both Scandinavian
Yes.
movies. I mean, I'm just wondering, I mean, who knows, too, if they made it, maybe it would have had a little different humor.
It would have
things
certainly
like that.
had a different type of humor.
But it just made me think, because I know you're not a big fan of slasher flicks, but if there was some good Scandinavian slasher flicks, maybe we could find one at some point. Do you think you would have enjoyed it more, or is it just, it's not your genre, you just didn't like it?
Probably not. I probably wouldn't have, because to me, it's taking the lowest road. It's gratuitous violence for the sake of it. And it's, even when done seriously, it's cartoony. It's exaggerated. It's going for effect. It's a blender in the head.
Come on, cheesy, but
No.
still fun for a second.
Dumb. Like, what idiot would think, oh, I'll stick a blender in his brain and turn it on? It's a blunt object. You'd be better off beating the guy to death with it. And then stopping to plug the fucking thing in and select puree.
Oh, come on, it was
This
not
is
that
a
bad.
grown-worthy movie. You see some films where, where someone tortures someone or someone gets killed, and I think the less over the top it is, the more effect it's going to have on you. When you watch a guy getting blendered or stabbed 14 times with screwdrivers or getting his head cracked with a fucking meat tenderizer, you're like, ha ha ha, that's funny.
Mm.
There's all kinds of freaking maple syrup everywhere. Or raspberry jam or whatever they fucking use in their shitty looking blood.
Just because you brought it up made me think about it. That is one of the things I've always wanted to do, is beat someone's head with a meat tenderizer.
So the first thing you want to do is make sure that you record yourself saying that before it happens. So
Yeah, okay.
So if the instance ever comes up where you're working in your kitchen and someone comes in to rob you and the closest thing you could find is a meat tenderizer, instead of self-defense, it'll be first-degree murder.
That's only if somebody can actually find the podcast.
Yeah, so yeah, we should probably post this on some sort of free, worldwide, global hosting. You're right, nobody's listening.
Alright, well, anyways, I see you sitting there with your notebook out.
I took some notes. They're very difficult to read because I wrote them in the dark while watching the movie, but, I got here, it was 27 minutes into the film before anything happened. I don't count the opening scene with the
neighbor?
Yeah, whatever
Okay.
the hell was going on there, because you have to start with something like that. That's horror movie.
Not every horror movie, but that is a classic entry.
I mean, even Dead Snow last week,
Yeah.
started with somebody, didn't really show anything, but they started with somebody getting dead.
Yeah.
And then the thing starts, so kind of did that the same. It was 27 minutes of meeting the family and getting everybody lined up and on all of the characters, and every one of them was just one-dimensional and completely unlikable.
They were all unlikable? Come on. I mean, they
Who
weren't...
was likable?
Okay, first of all, what was wrong with the parents? They weren't bad. I mean, they weren't characters I was going to fall in love with, but they were bad.
They didn't have any development at all.
The sister who came in with the...
No development either. This is sister. That is mom. That is dad. Dad worked for a defense contractor, KPG, which I can only assume is KBR.
Probably,
But,
yeah.
he worked in marketing for a defense contractor. What fucking marketing is there to do in defense contracting?
All right, I didn't pay that close attention to that part.
Like really, how
I
hard is
guess.
it to sell weapons to the military?
Hey, this gun shoots. Here.
This'll kill people, and at $1.5 million per, it's a real bargain. Like, fucking, what could you possibly have to do in marketing for? How hard could that possibly be? But yeah, either the characters were intentionally unlikable, like the fucking douchebag brother,
Oh,
or
God.
the skis bag brother, or the fucking, to the point that when they die, you're just like, yay, he's out of the fucking movie now.
Did you notice though? And there's more than two. I can't remember how many, but the asshole brother and then the I can't remember their names for the life of me. The main brother that came in, the beard, the chunky guy.
Yeah, Beardy McFatterson.
Sure.
Yeah.
The two of them were from a movie we've reviewed in the past, The Sacrament.
What was it?
And the main girl that kicks ass throughout the movie, she was also in The Sacrament.
No, I didn't notice that.
And the blonde girl that was in The Sacrament, it was 4 or 5 of the people from this movie were in The Sacrament.
I did not know that. I didn't recognize anybody. I mean, I thought Beardy McFatterson was Michael from Vsauce, but
I have no idea who that is.
that's okay. You should go on YouTube sometime. While you're there, you should watch our podcast, get the views up.
But yeah, I thought that was interesting. I didn't know if you...
No, I didn't recognize anybody from the film.
I actually noticed because when we were doing The Sacrament, I looked up the characters and the people and, found out that a lot of them cross over between that movie and this movie, which is really interesting the way that they have nothing to do with each other, or even like the film quality, the style, none of it was similar. Obviously, two very, very different stories, but...
Well, now that you touched on film quality, I will say, this is probably about the only good thing I'm going to say about the movie. Production values on this were pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good as far as a no-plot horror film is concerned. I mean, the blood was shitty, but other than that, lighting, setup, all of the technical details of the film, they pretty much got in there.
Yeah. That's one thing that drives me nuts with a lot of movies, especially they do it in horror movies. You get into a cave or a forest or whatever, and somebody holds up a lighter or lights a candle, and all of a sudden everything's lit up. I can't stand that.
It's sort of one of those grain of salt kind of things. You've got to take it, because if it was actually as dark as it would be a shitty movie.
True, but like you're saying with the quality, when they're running through the woods, you just got like that hue.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't overpowering. Like, okay, it's nighttime, but it's daytime, or where's that light coming from? You didn't have that going on. What else you got for me?
Well, I spent a lot of the time trying to track weapons. Who had what at what time. I knew right away that the girlfriend was going to be the only one who was worth a damn.
The one
who turned out to kill everybody.
Yeah.
But you could very early on in the event tell that she's going to be the one who knows what the fuck's up. Because, the filmmaker gets shot in the head, the douchebag gets shot in the back, everybody's freaking out, and they're like, we gotta get away from the windows. She grabs a fireplace poker. Everybody else is freaking out. She's the first person who grabs a weapon.
Yeah?
She never uses the fireplace poker, and it just disappears. But she is the first person to grab a weapon. You never see the poker again. She later shows up with a meat tenderizer.
Right.
At one point, she goes into the kitchen and starts a big pot of water boiling and switches over to a knife.
That was supposed to be for the mom, I believe.
Oh, was it? Was it for cooking?
No, it was...
They had a big stock pot of water boiling. That was another thing that I did like about the movie. When later in the kitchen, when she throws the pot of soup at him, and he's like, "It's not even hot."
And sitting there all night.
I did like that. That made me. It's just like, the fuck? It's not even hot. But okay, so she starts off with the fireplace poker, switches off to a knife, ends up with a meat tenderizer. We've got 3 attackers. I guess there was a cat, there was a wolf or a tiger, couldn't really tell, and there was a lamb.
Mm-hmm.
The cat had a machete. The cat had a machete the whole time. The lamb had a crossbow. He was the bowman.
Yes, but he had a knife, I remember at one point.
He may have had a knife as a side. Well, he pulled the knife out of his wrist, didn't he? When he punched through the window, he got knifed.
Right, but I thought... Yeah, okay.
And they had a maul. Now, they might have had 2 mauls. Or the maul keeps jumping back and forth between the lamb and the wolf. So...
Didn't notice that.
Yeah, that's the thing. He made a comment. He said, "Oh, you guys got your crossbows. Only one of them had a crossbow." Yeah,
yeah.
I have a little chart here on my thing trying to figure out who had what weapon at what time. Because they didn't do a very good job of it.
I really didn't notice that it switched up that much.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny. What else you got?
They spent, I spent most of the movie trying to figure out, why this is happening. Without context, to me, it was just gratuitous violence, and I can find that on the internet. Now, I knew fairly early on when Z, with two E's, shows up, I knew already she was in on it. Just by the way that she's smoking outside, and before she went in, she stops and pauses and looks back out into the woods. Kind of an, alright, is everything in place look? And it's like, alright, you're in on it. And by extension, probably the sleazy brother. They did manage to surprise me a bit, somewhat, with Beardy McFadderson being in on it.
That I didn't expect.
I didn't expect it, but it was nagging me as I was watching the movie. The worst Australian accent ever is killing everybody. And, one guy still got out. Where did he go?
And he's nowhere to be found.
He was a loose end that needed to be tied up. And speaking of loose ends needing to be tied up, Wolf's dead, Lamb's dead. Worst Australian accent ever has a maul. She's got a brick and a ball of string. And I'm just looking at this and I'm going, well, Wolf's dead, Lamb's dead, who's left? Cat. Ball of string? That'll distract him.
Did you really?
I did, it's written down here.
That's funny. No, I was going to ask you as far as the ending goes if you were able to predict that they were all in on it, or if...
No, the brother came as a bit of a surprise, but a bit of an unnecessary surprise. So they did leave loose ends, and I thought that they would wrap up differently. Like, she sets the trap with the maul and the brick above the door. And I'm like, alright, so I've got the loose end of a booby trap at the front door, and we've got the loose end of Beardy McFadderson running around somewhere. I thought he was going to come back to save her, come through the door, and catch the maul to the face.
That's exactly what I thought.
That's how I thought it was going to play out.
No, that was my exact prediction at that part, too. Obviously, that's not...
Well, because they were the last two loose ends. One of the things that kind of bugged me was, they tried to make the phone call out, and... Skeezy McBrotherson over there is, I'm a big fan of Something McSomething, son. But the skeezy little brother is all like, oh yeah, well, it's probably a cell phone jammer. You can get those on the internet. Any disreputable source for $39.99, plus shipping and handling, no CODs. And she's like, oh, well, we can send a text message. You can't send a fucking text message if your message is jammed, but whatever. 55 minutes later, the police send back yeah, we got that.
See, I'm legit trying to think if there was something else that maybe we missed in between. Like somebody had the cell phone when they ran to the neighbor's house. And because didn't she went over and came back and...
No, the douchebag's wife made it to
right.
the neighbor's house.
She's the one with the neighbor's house. Shit.
Yeah, there's too many people there trying to keep track of.
They're all running different fucking places. How about having sex next to your dead mom?
I would have done it. When are you going to have that opportunity again?
Yeah.
But, I mean, the mom being up there in the first place. Oh, people are outside shooting at us. They're killing. Oh, my God. I'm going to go lay down. I'll be safe under the ballistic protection of the blanket.
Don't you love the dude? Of course, the guy's in the house. I mean...
Yeah, of course he's in the house. We knew he was in the house.
Yeah, they had to be. Well, in
the
the beginning,
idiot dad comes home. Oh, the door's unlocked. Oh, probably someone left it unlocked. I think I heard something upstairs. Oh, it's nothing. The door's fucking unlocked at the house you haven't been to, and now you're hearing things upstairs. Maybe it's worth checking out.
Well, he attempts to, but it doesn't...
He doesn't really attempt to. He argues with his wife first. And then he goes up there with, I don't know, has he got a fireplace log? What the hell did he have? A board with a nail in it?
Yeah, because they were still, they had it all, like, wrapped up for cleaning, and... I don't know. I mean, it was, their vacation home from all the money he makes doing the advertising for...
Hey, you guys use guns, right? We do use guns. We sell guns. Oh, you do? Do you want to buy some of them? Yeah. Well, all right, then. I think we can do business.
Yeah. I don't remember what he had in his hand, but yeah, he was walking around, he got kind of close, and then, of course, the other one comes in and interrupts him. No, I was going to say, I agree with what you're saying, some of that. And then, of course, it's the sleazy brother has the cell phone blocker or whatever the fuck you call it. Takes it out later in the movie, shuts it off. Oh, no, maybe was that it? Was the cell phone the text pending until he shut it off and then it went through?
No, I don't think so.
Because that was the only other explanation I can come up with.
No, I think it happened. I don't know. I'd have to watch it again, and frankly, I don't want to.
I'll watch it again and I'll tell you.
I don't care. I don't. No, I think that happened afterwards, but you know, it is what it is.
Yeah. Anyways, all right. Well, let's wrap this up and see what you thought of it, Jay.
Okay. Well, I guess my final word on this one is this was a slightly better but not standout version of a genre that doesn't need to exist. So we're gonna call this one a 4.
It's better than what I thought you were gonna say.
It was all right. I mean, it wasn't like a total shit fest as far as production was concerned. It was watchable, but at the end of it, I didn't take any lessons away. You know, I was generally bored with it. So it's a somewhat better example of, like I said, a genre that shouldn't exist in the first place. So we'll call it a 4.
Well, I'm gonna completely disagree with you because, of course, it's a genre I like.
Well, I imagine you'd like this film on account of you picked it.
I'm giving this one. It wasn't amazing. It had some good parts, though. I like the deaths. You know, the suspense, so to speak. I don't really remember any that many jump scares. Now that I think about it, it was like a couple here and there, but none of them were that intense. I'm gonna give it a 7.
7? Okay. Well, that wraps up our review of this movie, and if you like that, you know where we stand.
Fuck you.
Fuck you too.
If anybody ever listens to our podcast, they'll be the only ones that get that joke.
That'll bring our movie review to a close. Let's get the trash can brought over here and see what we're watching next week. So let's see what we got here. All right. Looks like we're going to be watching the reboot of RoboCop.
I can't argue with that.
You can't argue with it. It's on the paper, and you argued last week, and see what happened.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
No, it was a 4 out of 10.
All right. Anyways, RoboCop.
RoboCop. So, head on over to Netflix, queue up RoboCop, the new one. Give it a watch. Let us know what you thought of it. And come back here next week to see what we thought of it.
I'd buy that for $1.
I sure hope that they keep the 80s. Do you? The shitty commercials throughout.
Oh, God.
Oh, I hope they do.
Well,
we'll find out next week. Let's save this for then. So, you know what happens now.
Oh, fuck. I forgot about that.
You did forget about
it. Dude, it was the end of my birthday week. I don't have to take a quiz, right?
You didn't have to take a quiz last week because it was your birthday week.
No, you took a quiz last week.
I know. You didn't have to take it. I took
See,
one.
but this time this should be my gift that I don't have to take it this week. Oh, yeah.
Now, just out of curiosity, do you expect that to work?
I figure I at least get to see the reaction.
Yes, you got incredulity. So here is your quiz. I'm calling this quiz Dirty Work.
Dirty Work?
Dirty Work.
Dude, come on, that's a great movie, but...
It's a movie?
Yeah.
Oh, well, shit. All right. This quiz is 10 questions about dry cleaning that Mike's not going to know.
About dry cleaning?
Yes.
I won't know any of it.
How do you not know anything? I told you last week you're getting a quiz on dry cleaning. You had a fucking week to study.
Did you say that last week?
Yes. Yes, I did.
You did say that last week.
I did say that last week.
Shit.
You had a fucking... No excuses.
Oh, I've got plenty of them. I'm sure
no good excuses. No excuses will be accepted.
Ah, fuck. All right.
First question. In the popular cartoon Archer, ISIS uses a laundromat as its front. What real intelligence agency once used a laundromat as its front?
That's awesome. I have no idea.
Well, here's the thing. These are all going to be multiple choice. So
Okay.
You have KGB, CIA, MI6, or ISIS.
I'm going to go KGB.
KGB would be incorrect. It was MI6.
Serious? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
During the war in Northern Ireland, British intelligence services used a laundromat to scan clothing for bomb residue, using the information to determine where terrorists were building bombs.
Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
It is pretty cool. They grouped laundry coming in by location, and then when they found out where the clothing with the bomb residue was coming from, they started dumping coupons into that particular neighborhood. So everybody was bringing their clothes in, and they got actual addresses. Nobody was injured in the investigation, and they went and shut down a bunch of bomb-making factories.
No shit, that's cool.
It's cool stuff. Number 2. On an average day, how much laundry is dry cleaned at Walt Disney World? 12,000 garments, 33,000 garments, 76,000 garments, or 110,000 garments every day.
76,000.
No, that is incorrect. It is 33,000 garments are dry cleaned each day, as well as 285,000 pounds of regular laundry.
Damn.
Every day.
That's just Disney World.
Just Disney World, yes.
Like Magic Kingdom Park or all of the parks?
Disney World.
Okay.
That's all the information I have. You'd be surprised how hard it is to find interesting stuff on, dry cleaning.
No, I'm not surprised at all.
Modern-day dry cleaning is credited to Jean-Baptiste Jallet, a Frenchman who discovered his tablecloth came away cleaner after kerosene was spilled onto it. Who was thought to have originally invented dry cleaning? The Greeks, the Romans, the Chinese, or you just told me, the French?
I was going to go with you just told me the French.
That would be incorrect. It is actually the Romans. The Romans would use a mixture of fuller's earth and ammonia, derived from animal and sometimes human urine, to clean their togas.
Lovely.
Yep.
That's better than some of the shit Romans have done.
In the 1930s, dry cleaning had switched to a chemical called tetrachloroethylene, more commonly known as PERC. PERC holds what place of note in chemical history? It was the first chemical to have a patent. It was the first chemical manufactured by the DuPont Corporation. It was the last chemical to be made from Roman urine. Or it was the first chemical to be classified as a carcinogen.
B?
First chemical to be manufactured by the DuPont Corporation?
Sure.
Okay. No, that is incorrect. It is the first chemical to be classified as a carcinogen. The Consumer Product Safety Regulation classified it as a carcinogen. The classification was later withdrawn, but it's still pretty awful shit and has been heavily regulated by both CARB and the EPA since 1993.
Ah, it's beautiful.
President Jimmy Carter allegedly sent a suit out for dry cleaning with what item in his suit pocket? A ballpoint pen, nuclear launch codes, keys to the White House main gate, or notes for a speech on Iran.
I've actually heard this before, and I can't remember the answer. Shit. Was it the nuclear codes?
It was, in fact, the biscuit, the nuclear launch codes. Sadly, Carter is not the only president to have lost those.
We've got some geniuses here, man, let me tell you.
Yeah. Which of the following is not a waste product of dry cleaning? Cooked muck, sludge, lint pebbles, or none of those things are real things?
Lint pebbles?
Lint pebbles is correct. I made up lint bubbles.
All right.
Why is dry cleaning considered dry? No water is used in the process. The clothing is dried as part of the process. Clothing must be dry before the beginning of the process. Or only people without a sense of humor use the process.
I thought... I'm going to go with no water.
No water is correct. I also would have accepted D. According to Mitch Hedberg, a shirt that is dry clean only is expensive, uncomfortable, dirty, or not something anybody should own.
Dirty.
Dirty is correct. This shirt is dry clean only, which means it's dirty. Feminists are angry at dry cleaners for charging more for women's shirts. Why do some dry cleaners do this? Because fuck feminists, am I right?
Yeah.
Because women's shirts are made of more fragile fabrics that would melt. Because women's shirts don't fit on the machine press. Or because men dry clean more shirts than women.
I was going to go with the fabrics.
The fabrics? That is actually incorrect. Women's shirts, they don't fit on the press.
Really?
Women's shirts are typically cut differently and don't fit on the blocky one-size-fits-all presses used by most dry cleaners, requiring them to be hand-pressed. This costs more, so it costs more. Calm down, Tumblr. And the final question. I've had many jobs over the years, but have I ever worked for a dry cleaner?
What?
Yes. No. Yes, with a question mark. And didn't your girlfriend work for a dry cleaner?
Didn't your girlfriend work for a dry cleaner?
Yeah, yes, she did, actually. Yes, that is correct. I also would have accepted B, because no, I did not work for a dry cleaner. But yes, I did date somebody who worked for a dry cleaner. Alright, so you managed 5 out of 10, and I'm sure with the exception of maybe Mitch Hedberg. You were guessing on most of them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the nuclear codes.
The nuclear codes, yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got 5 out of 10 there.
All right, I'm excited.
Yeah, well, very good.
Joyous occasion. Slightly informative.
You had a week to study. I don't know why you didn't. You knew it was coming.
What the fuck am I gonna study about dry cleaning?
All of those things.
Because I knew this was what you were gonna ask me.
I told you it was coming. It's not a surprise.
I completely forgot.
That's your problem, isn't it?
No, it's the alcohol's problem.
This week's episode of the Close Enough Podcast is brought to you by A Clockwork Garage. Clocks, keychains, and more made from recycled auto parts. Visit www.aclockworkgarage.com. Our audio technician is Jennifer Huckleberry. We would like to hear from you. Send us your comments, questions, concerns, outright insults, music, and movie suggestions to closeenoughradio@gmail.com or visit our Facebook fan page, Close Enough Radio.
Well, normally we end our shows with a band. Well, I don't have one because you guys haven't given me any. I've run out of all the options I have. So please send us any information you have regarding local bands, smaller bands, independent bands, non-signed. Whether you're in one, you know someone that's in one, or you know someone who knows someone that's in one. We would like to be able to promote them because, well, as I said in the beginning of the show, that's something that's near and dear to me, is promoting local bands.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, everybody wins. The band gets more coverage, and you guys get to discover new bands from other parts in the country. So
Exactly.
everybody wins in this case.
So to close out the show, we went ahead and held off for our news stories since we don't have a band.
Oh, well, tell me something you do know about.
I do know a few things this week. Nothing too crazy, but definitely some good ones made me laugh. We'll start off with a floating strip club accused of dumping poo in the harbor.
Like the bear?
No, like
cartoon bear?
shit, shite, poop.
I'm going to make poopy.
The headline read poo, so I said poo.
With an H or just two O's?
P-O-O.
Dumping poo.
Poo.
It's terrible.
No, it was
Also, isn't that what happens?
There was an Anchorage. It was in Anchorage, Alaska, and there's actually a boat that is a strip club.
What is a strip club?
And as opposed to taking care of their waste properly, they've discovered that they have possibly been letting their toilets run straight into the harbor. So, God knows what kind of waste is coming out of that place.
Who would have thought that a floating strip club could be damaging to the environment?
Yeah, that seems quite pleasant to me. Sorry. All right,
Coffee.
All right, next up I've got a Florida man from Tallahassee. Tries to pay bar tab with a rock. Returns with a bad credit card. Then later returns with a briefcase that allegedly contained either a bomb or a baby. The guy,
It's either got a bomb or a baby in it. It's going to ruin your life either way.
he tried to pay with a rock. They wouldn't let him.
Why is it always Florida?
That's got to be Florida, man. Come on. The fucking dude tries to pay with a rock. Well, apparently in this conversation at some point, they'd let him go. Why the hell did he return?
So he went to a bar.
Yep.
He bought some drinks.
Yep.
He's like, here's my rock. I think you'll find that's legal tender.
Apparently his tab was somewhere around $10, and
For $10.
after he had drinks, he attempted to pay with a rock, and the bartender said, "That is not recognized as legal tender, sir."
So he left.
Somehow he got out of there. He left. I haven't.
Then he's won. Excuse me. Then he's won.
Yeah, he's gone. Why does he?
If you got your drink and you got to leave, you've won.
Yeah, that drove me. I don't know. So I'm guessing at this point he was upset that they wouldn't take his rock. Now this is an ex-military man apparently. They don't specify what branch he was in because he said that if I told you I'd have to kill you. But yeah, so in case you can't tell, this guy was probably escaped from a mental institution that's up there in Chattahoochee. It's not that far from Tallahassee, I'm guessing. It is one of the head criminally insane places, hospitals in the States. So wouldn't surprise me about that.
For those of you listening at home, I've got my face buried in my hands right now. This is a weapons grade facepalm.
Yeah. So yeah, apparently at this point he leaves. Crazy man leaves. Comes back with a bad credit card, which of course doesn't go through. Leaves again. Comes back in his suit with a briefcase. Threatens nobody come near him or they're gonna get hurt. Leaves And when the cops come up and ask him about the briefcase, he said it's either a bomb or a baby.
I'll take the bomb, please.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. But, okay, this guy's got to be crazy.
Crazy like a fox.
Then again, I mean, if you start your day off trying to pay for drinks with a rock, you can easily plead insanity, so.
Why is it always Florida?
It's got to be. Speaking of always Florida, Florida man dies from Batman uppercut.
Nice segue.
Thank you. So have you heard about this?
I have heard about this one, yes.
I thought it was kind of cool. First, I read the headline, and I was kind of like, "What the fuck are they? Where are they going with this?" It turned out to be kind of a cute story for what it was. Steve Morrell, I guess, died from. They don't have actual causes of death, and when they were doing his obituary, they said they needed cause of death. So, and from what I can read, he was a Batman fan, as am I. So they said that he died from an uppercut from Batman in his obituary.
Well, if you gotta go, I mean, it's as good a way as any.
Good point. I wouldn't mind going from an uppercut from Batman. It's a good way to go. Alright. Hang on a second. Okay. My next story. I'm surprised that this hasn't happened more than once, to be honest with you. The headline's not that exciting, but I wanted to talk about this real quick.
Okay.
Masturbating female handcuffed and arrested after pleasing herself in the cinema during 50 Shades of Grey. Would you like me to read that when you're not yawning?
No, that's my opinion on the story, I guess.
The reason I picked this one, and the reason I said I'm surprised we haven't heard more of this, the way this book was, I mean, I remember I work in restaurants, and there's a lot of servers, most of them are female a lot of times. My God, man, it was like everywhere I turned, somebody was reading this damn book. All the girls were freaking out about it. It was the biggest type on the internet. It was all over the place. Now they made this movie, which, as any movie to book, I'm sure did not hold up to the standards. But there's no way that this one instance that I've found is the only instance where some woman's pleasuring herself in the theater.
Well, here's the thing that I think. She said 50 Shades of Grey. Mm-hmm. She's watching it, and she's masturbating. So obviously she's into this. And they punish her by handcuffing her?
Yeah. Taking her to jail.
Sure taught her a lesson.
All right.
I've been invited to go see this film. A friend of mine, a female friend of mine, wants to go.
And you're going?
Yeah. I mean, she's gonna pay for it, and yeah, I'll probably go. She says, "Oh, I want to make fun of it." She says, and I want you to go with me. It's like, all right, I get it. You want to go see it, but you don't want to go by yourself.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, I figure, so later this week I may go see it, and if I do, I'll touch on it on the podcast.
Yeah, let me know what happens.
Yeah, I mean,
it can't be in any more detail than, actual fucking porn on the internet, but,
yeah.
I mean...
It's gonna be a bunch of softcore.
Isn't the main actress is I don't remember her name, but it's Melanie Griffith's daughter, I think, something like that.
I have no idea. I don't know anything about this, so...
I don't know either, but...
We'll play it by ear. We'll see how it goes. If I see anybody masturbating, I'll handcuff her.
Or at least take video.
Need any help with that?
Well, you shouldn't have been doing that in public in the first place, damn it. It's like breastfeeding.
It's nothing at all like breastfeeding.
Alright. Last story here. I had to bring this up because I know how much we both just adore Kanye West. Fucking hate Kanye West.
There's more Kanye West?
There's the Kanye West.
Should I have saved the Kanye West joke I made earlier for now?
No.
What is this dick fuck up to now?
I'm thinking, the way this is rolling, I might be able to do a new story on him every week.
What did he do?
Kanye West is creating a video game where users play his dead mother. Apparently, his mom is dead, and according to him, in heaven. And you are to assist his mom through heaven to get to the highest gates that you can possibly get to in heaven. That is general idea of this video game that he's comprising. You get to play with Kanye's mom in a new video game that might be coming out soon.
Fuck you, Kanye.
I can't stand this guy. Oh, and on a final note, I'm sorry, I don't know if you had heard about this or not. It's another Kanye thing. I had to bring this up too. You heard about how he got Paul McCartney to do a collaboration with him?
Yeah, I heard about that.
Okay, did you hear about these
Yes.
Kanye fans?
Yes. I don't know who this Paul McCartney is, but he's fitting to give him a career.
Kanye is such a genius finding people like this. It's Paul fucking McCartney. Are you kidding me, people?
These are people that think that Kanye West is a genius. We're scraping the bottom of the fucking barrel here, as far as intelligence is concerned.
Jesus Christ, dude, these people are worse than juggalos trying to clean up the streets.
Heading down to the Hatchet House.
Don't
die.
do that shit to me when I'm trying
Don't
to drink.
I mean, like, they're thinking he's a fucking genius, as though the rap-rock combo thing hasn't been done, fucking Anthrax and Public Enemy, or Run DMC and Aerosmith in the fucking 80s.
Dude, I mean, well, this shit's been done forever, and I haven't even heard this song, so I'm sure it sucks. But either way, though, it's Paul McCartney. I don't understand how you can live on this planet and have not at least heard his fucking name.
Yeah,
unless you're under...
He was the guy from Wings.
12. Unless you're under 12. Like,
Who's listening to Kanye?
A lot of people, apparently, because his fucking records and all that shit sell like crazy. But, anyways, yeah. Had to bring all that up, finish off our podcast. I think the final thing I really want to say is fuck you, Kanye.